of his young career, going up against the 31-year-old veteran Sanderline Williams, who had just about seen it all. Let's go to round one. And this is the first of 8 rounds, middleweights. It's the 22-year-old Gerald McClellan out of the Kronk Gym, 15-2 with 15 knockouts. The heavy knockout punch, including 10 KOs in the first round. And tonight he gets his biggest test against the veteran and rock-chinned Sanderline Williams, who comes in with a record of 24-11-1 with 14 knockouts. Williams, who has been in with 4 world champions. He has gone the distance against Iran Barkley and Frank Tate and Ronnie Essett and Don Lee and Nigel Benn and Reggie Johnson. Last fight 3 weeks ago, a 10-round draw with the undefeated James Toney from these parts. So a good test for McClellan.
And Sanderline Williams said in that Toney fight, said that he gave me a black eye on the left side, and then he said I started slow, but I started coming on at the end. He says he thought he beat James Toney that night. Gerald McClellan saw that fight, and now he's in the ring with the man he saw, Sanderline Williams. He said he's real clever and slick. He said he's slowed a lot because of his age. Williams is 31.
Williams has been down only once, and that loss 5 years ago to Lindell Holmes when he was stopped in the ninth. McClellan has had 17 pro fights, 37 rounds of boxing, compared to Sanderline Williams in his 36 bouts has fought 256 rounds. Powerful youth versus the crafty experience in this one.
And the youth, McClellan is working on settling down a little bit more. He's been too tense in his last few fights. This fight, he wants to go out there, check out his opponent from the opening bell, and try to take his time, set up his offense.
Sanderline won 14 of his first 15 fights and 3 tough losses. Dwight Walker, the loss to Holmes, and to Gerald at a decision. Then he won 8 in a row. Biggest was a victory over Dwight Davison. But Williams upping the competition at this point of his career, looking for that one fight to turn it around. He's gone distance with some of the top fighters, but has come out second best. So he, in his last 10 fights, has won 2, lost 7 with 1 draw. Right now, steps in as an opponent against a prospect out of the Kronk Gym.
You know, you talked about those losses to Dwight Walker, Lindell Holmes, and Gerald. After the Gerald fight, he went to the library to read books to learn how to fight and also learn how to get in shape. The right things to eat.
Round number 2, Gerald McClellan, 15-2, 15 knockouts, 10 of them in the first round. So Sanderline Williams has passed that test, but 14 of his 15 victims have come in the first 2 rounds. McClellan was born in Freeport, Illinois, grew up in Milwaukee, started boxing at the age of 14. 1986 Eastern Olympic Festival trials, won a silver at the National Olympic Festival, and burst onto the scene as a pro, winning his first 10 fights all by knockout, never having to go past the second round. And then, Sean, 2 fights against Dennis Milton and Ralph Ward, 2 awkward fighters, and he had his problems and lost 8-round decisions before coming back and taking the last 5 again, all by KO.
And he is the first to admit, Al, that his inexperience got him in the Dennis Milton fight. He said he was also real tense. That's why now he's working on staying looser. Now, I just saw earlier in this round a nice, effective...
Williams is down here in the second. Williams has just been standing in front of McClellan. We talked about the fighters that have given McClellan problems, the ones that moved, the ones that have been awkward, but Sanderline Williams, a target right in front.
And this is where Gerald McClellan is at his best. The first few rounds, look at these punches from him. The telling blow that I talked about was the left hook to the body. That happened earlier in this round, and it really established McClellan's control in this fight. Right now he's got Sanderline Williams laying in on top of him. And that's just where Gerald McClellan likes to have his opponents. Right on top of him so he can punch him.
In his 37-fight career, that's only the second time Williams has been down. The first time in 5 years since Lindell Holmes.
And Lindell Holmes is the only fighter to have stopped Sanderline Williams.
Williams is now bleeding from the forehead. But will the savvy, the experience of Williams pull him through this second round? McClellan bombing away inside, the uppercut. Williams' legs are shaky inside the final 30 seconds of the second. And now McClellan for the moment holds on. And off the break, McClellan gets a fist in the face.
Williams says that he just has a great defense. He says, I get hit a lot of times, but I don't get hit too solid. Well, he got hit with a good right hand solid, but he's been careful not to get hit after that. Not solid anyway, especially upstairs to the chin where he's still wobbly.
In that second round, Sanderline Williams put down for only the second time in his career. The other was Lindell Holmes. But Williams showing his experience, his savvy, actually took McClellan the distance, 8 rounds, although McClellan won every round on every judge's card.
But McClellan could not come back with that right hand that he nailed Williams with in the second to put him down. When Williams was hurt, he knew just enough movement from him he could get out of the way of McClellan's punches.
Well, McClellan, though, goes the distance. He needed one of those. He had 14 fights of his 15 wins. Ended in the first 2 rounds. A little experience of a decision win, plus at least he could say it's one of just a couple who have put down a rock chin, Sanderline Williams. So that fight earlier tonight here at Auburn Hills. We'll be back.
In defense of the WBC middleweight title. The explosive McClellan won the title back in May of '93 with a stirring 5th round knockout of